how do you embrace fear today? Is it different than when you were 35 or 25? Talk to us about that.
It's not much different. I was very fearful to launch snakes. I really had a lot of doubt and self-doubt around launching something else, putting myself out there again. But I think, listen, the only way to deal with fear is to do it. I mean, you just no one is going through life in the absence of fear, right? I mean, I am afraid of a lot of things, but I think I made a decision early on that I was more afraid of living my life and not doing things and looking back and saying I didn't do all those things. Right? I'm more afraid of that than I am, being laughed at, being made fun of, being embarrassed. I mean, if you really think about fear and you dissect it, which I have, I think it really comes down to the fear of failure is really big. And that ends up being what other people think about you and the fear of being embarrassed. And so I've spent a lot of time really working with myself internally to not let those things really run my life. I mean, I will intentionally embarrass myself. I do it often.
We love it. Keep doing it. It's amazing. It's so good.
Then I also, in embarrassing things and failures, guess what they do? First of all, they just nudge you and let you know you're off course. But they're really great connectors with other humans. I mean, they make great stories and they give you an opportunity to deeply connect with your customers, with your friends, with your family, with your employees. So I see them as these like rich nuggets.
So is that where like you do a lot of like extreme stuff? I always watch you and I'm like, what is she doing now? Her adrenals. But no, you do a lot of extreme stuff. Like, is that your attempt to get over this hump of fear, to like hit that obstacle that many of us won't do or think we can't do, and to prove to yourself that you can? Where does that fit? And give some examples too. I know what you do, but not everybody listening may know.
And then I want you to layer in there, because I'm obsessed with like the whole father and how like, what did you fail at this week? And I just think there's so much power in that. I mean, I want to start that. So sprinkle some of that in there.
So my motto that I live by in life, which is a funny story because talk about my memory. I was at a cocktail party and people were all talking and someone was going through a really hard time. And I said, well, I have this motto that gets me through life. It's helped me a lot. And the person goes, well, what is your life motto? And everyone was in, and I forgot it. I was like,
I love it.
My husband's looking at me and he's like, what's going on? And I'm like, so then I just have to tell you what he did. I went away on a business trip and he had the great idea, God bless him, that he would get a neon sign custom made.
Oh my God, of course.
The walls of my living room. It's hanging in my living room when I get home. And it says, I have a motto I live by, but I forgot it.
Oh God. Oh no.
But I do know what the motto is. And the motto is the more you experience in life, the more you have to offer others. So I think that I find myself in this place of yes, as much as I possibly can. And so a lot of those experiences have happened from me saying yes to asking me to do things, opportunities. Like I really like to pay attention to self-definition. Like I think that anytime we hear this voice in our head go, well, that's not me. And I'm like, who are you? Who said that? Why is that not me? Where did that come from? And at what stage in my life did that become not me? And maybe that feels like that's the next thing I need to do. So I set a world record. I'm in the Guinness Book of World Record for scaling the side of a hot air balloon at 10,000
wow
air and having tea on top of it. But that wasn't because I set out to do that. I said yes to
Of course you are.
Richard Branson. And I didn't read the fine print because I'm an entrepreneur,
Right. Of course, we don't read the fine print. You're right.
I mean, I literally all I heard was it was his version of The Apprentice, but it was going to take place around the world. And I'm like, that's cool. Sign me up. I read his book in college. He sounds like someone I'd love to know. And I show up the first day and they handed me a helmet. And I'm like, wait, I'm an entrepreneur. Why do I need a helmet? Like, Sarah, it's like half fear factor. If you don't get the business challenge right, you have to set a world record with Richard. And I was like,
oh my God.
Delta. Like, cry during takeoff.
But at the same time, I will say at the same time, you were very clear it's not random, right? Because you've always said, you are a big believer in the why. You're a big believer in like the 3 questions that go along with the why. And you're anchored to a certain degree by that. So how do you balance that kind of real manifesting of this is why I'm here and this is what's important to me and this is where I'm heading. I'm connecting the dots, right? And this whole like, wait, the universe just said something over here.
Yeah, I think being anchored in the why is incredibly important. Like almost before I do anything, I get very clear with the why, and I need to feel like I understand the intention of why I'm doing it,
Give us an example.
Okay, so shoes, right? I'm the age I am. I have 4 kids. I'm not doing this for the money, but I became very clear that my why was women have suffered a really long time with uncomfortable shoes and heels made by men for the last several hundred years who don't wear them for the most part, that are making them, and they've never even put them on their foot. And so I was like, women deserve better. And so because I got so clear with what my why is to make women feel better and to give them better options where I feel like women have been neglected. Like in the fashion industry, there's been, a much more emphasis on how we look versus how we feel. We were even fed a tagline. Like my grandmother told my mother, who told me, beauty is pain. Like, but does it have to be? So if I get really clear that my intention is that, then I let go of what other people think. It becomes much freer. Like people can go, I love the shoe, I hate the shoe, or this or that. And I'm like, I know where my intention was. And I feel so good about my intention and what I was doing and why I did it, that all the rest of it is like external noise. If you're not clear on your why, you will become a lot more volatile in, I think, other people's opinions and all the noise that comes on around you. Like you have to be really centered. So that's an example of what I've done recently where I was really connected to a why. And if your why is bigger than yourself, like I care deeply about elevating women, balancing out the feminine and the masculine on the planet. I think we've been really out of balance for a long time and we're all suffering. And so, that gives me courage that I probably wouldn't normally have, because every time I call someone I'm scared to call or cold call or knock on a door or launch a new thing that I might, be ridiculed for because it's different and innovative and it hasn't been out there before. I think of all the women that didn't get the chance to do that and still don't have the chance to do that. And then I think, how could I not do that?